Look at how much solar that is. That's ridiculous. My solar field is the size of my screen. And an autosave. I wonder how much smaller that autosave is compared to the previous one. Like, these are big. That's bigger. G'day, mate, and welcome back to Factorio with me, Jetty. And believe it or not, the UPS count in the top right-hand corner actually says 75. It says 75 until I hit the record button, at which point it does drop a little bit, but then it goes back up. It's a little bit all over the place. So, what's happened? Well, the main base was hit with nukes, if you remember, and all of it went away. In fact, all of it went away. We are now on a greatly diminished base. Green circuits, our warehouse make everything thingamajiggy bob, red circuits, and I got a blue circuit build, which I don't think I need. In fact, like, I can't think of anything in our make everything that actually needs blue circuits, and we're just going to walk through it really quickly and just confirm that nothing's bringing in blue circuits via requester chests. Nope. And we have 5.4k in storage, so we're never making modules again, and that's all disappearing. Which also means red circuits now just go in, basically into the make everything. Holy crap, all of that can go. All of that can go. Actually, yeah, I just disconnected power from the whole base. Or just this little segment. Let's put a power pole in here, and let's use the proper decom planner that leaves the power poles behind, because they're probably going to be important for robot coverage. But it also means that, yeah, all these pipes that I had running across the, running across the base, that can go away as well. Our battery build can be gone, because turns out we're not using batteries for anything anymore. So yeah, pretty much the whole base is gone. Like, even plastic. Like, I stripped plastic down. We had 4 dedicated lanes of plastic. We've got 1 now. Our oil build is far too big for what we're using. But that's fine. We'll trim it down later. That can go, that can go. I have the robot network still strung all the way out here to these green circuits. But they can go too. Like, all of this can go. Just don't need it. We're going to chop up that. We're going to chop up that. We're going to, believe it or not, yep, pull up the train. The longest coal belt ever can also go. I have no idea if that's actually in robot range or not, so I'll just pick up this little bit. Turns out it was. That can go. That can go. This little sideways backward belt can go. Yeah, it's like, really, after you rip out from a base, like, all the things that you don't need anymore when you get to the Megabase scale, you really realize you have nothing. Like I'm only leaving these in case I decide to come back later and I need more iron and copper. But I doubt it. I really doubt I'm going to need any of that stuff. Like all of this area is just, it's clear. It's gone. There's nothing there. Those can go. That can go. You can just be a dedicated belt. Because even that's overkill. Where's that copper goes in? Well, you know what? That copper can go in there, and we can get rid of that as well. Iron can be trimmed back to whatever's back there. That can go. That can go. You can be a dedicated belt. Which means all of that can be trimmed back as well. Semi-green circuits, like all of... Well, I definitely don't need that crap. That can go. That can go. That can go. I don't need a injection lane. In fact... pack up that train as well, please. Yeah, you remember how I said like bots would be free at the end of last episode? Turns out maybe they're not. You know what, we'll just... Actually... You can go, you can go, you can go, you can go, you can go. We'll call that done. So yeah, 10,000 bots doing 10,000 tasks. It's fine. They'll catch up. Oh, only 7,000 tasks. They'll catch up eventually. That can go. That can go. Can I turn on personal robots for this bit? Those two can go. So now we're making acid down here, literally to pipe it all the way across the whole map to an acid train, which seems to indicate I should probably move my acid train down here. Oh, actually, it's also for uranium. How much uranium do we have? Just a wee bit. I like it how officially the train has left, but this guy's like, no. I can still suck out some sulfur. I can do it. I can do it. Okay. So yeah, big starter base gone, just completely decimated. In fact, like we're still making stone and bricks, but like I don't think we even need to do that, especially with how much crap we have in storage. Where's a chest? We have 63,000 stone in storage. Now, some of that is off the bus, but a lot of it is from placing solar. Like the 13,000 coal, some of that's off the bus, but a lot of it is from just placing solar, like fields and fields and fields of sulfur. All the wood got burnt, but like this stuff doesn't get burnt, so it gets added into the system and used up, but ever so slowly. Speaking of that, no, we do have recycling. It's just we're not using... Oh, actually, that whole belt doesn't exist anymore. Now my inventory is full of shit. Oh, I don't want to cut the lube line because technically the lube line, if I'm likely to need a pipe or a material, it's probably going to be blue belts. Yeah, that simplified that problem. Iron ore. Some green circuits, some red circuits, some copper, railroad ports, power pole. I don't know, it's like I can dump off the top of my head. I'm just going to turn off personal robots so I don't have to deal with clearing my inventory over and over and again. Do we have enough storage space? I'm going to go with no. So let's go fix that before we go on to the next project. Because the next project is literally finding somewhere to put down... Oh, well, actually, no. The next big project is finding somewhere to put down yet another blueprint. I don't think I've ever made this with quite so many storage chests. Ever. Do I have any on me? Of course not. Where are they made? Right there. And wander into here. Turn those guys on. Good enough. Okay. So the other thing I want to do is I want to strip out all the radars from this area. And all the roboports. So up here we have 200 Logibots and 9,000 construction robots. This train station is pretty much decimated now. There's only half a dozen storage chests in here, so it's not even worth me picking it up. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to editor mode. And I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to go to here. Grab my decon planner, and I'm just going to scrape the whole map. And the reason I do this in editor mode is two reasons. One, it means I don't need to actually be able to see the items I'm deconstructing. They can happen in Fog of War, and editor mode doesn't care. On top of that, no, if I tick that box and try again for a second time, they just disappear completely. Also, like, I don't have radar range for a lot of these guys because it's a pain putting the radars down, and then, in theory, to save the UPS unit, they need to pick them back up. But with a stroke of the mouse, every single roboport has gone. Oh no, I missed some. Although I have killed every single construction bot that was in the network. So there's that. But all the radars have gone. So we're just going to do this little area here. There's a radar there. There's a radar there. Because the radars are literally there. They're there to provide coverage when it's building. So I can see roughly how close to completion are we. Once it's down and built, I have no use for the radars. It's not as if I need to like check on my solar field to see whether they need dusting or something like that. So yeah, we're just going to scroll around the map really quickly, get rid of all of these guys. There's some in here somewhere. One, really? Just one? Yep, just one. That's a T intersection, so that's part of that blueprint. I'm going to leave that guy there. We've got some amount of radars in here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13. Oop. Yep, they're part of the main base roboports. They can go. I don't need those guys hanging around. Same with this. I don't need that roboport, that roboport, that roboport, that roboport, that roboport. Obviously, the smaller I make the robot network, the less the game has to calculate it. Same story with this. We're just going to go from here to the other far corner. And I sort of figure, like, you might call it cheaty. I sort of figure it saves me a bunch of time. And the more time I save, literally, the sooner I can get an episode out. Because we're now at the super late game, which is hours and hours of work between episodes. On top of that, I miss radars. I didn't miss radars. On top of that, like, that deconstruct just cost me like 10,000 construction robots. So, you know, you can't say I got away scot-free. And look at how much solar that is. That's ridiculous. My solar field is the size of my screen. And an autosave. I wonder how much smaller that autosave is compared to the previous one. Like, these are big. That's bigger. Where am I? I need to move back into the base. And then leave editor mode. That can go. Like, you know. Max zoom. Max zoom I can fit in. We'll call out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 train stations. Oh, hang on. I gotta actually go to somewhere I can zoom. Max zoom, I can fit in maybe 6 solar stamps. And I don't know how many solar stamps. A lot. A lot. Okay. So it turns out I still have radar coverage in here, so we're going to just go back to editor mode really quickly and remove the radars that are in that section of the base. Same with the radars down this main junction or line. I don't need those either. That's fogged out now. That'll fog out any second now. Yep. So probably made a difference to UPS. I have no idea until the bots finish ripping up everything. There's still all 7,000 of them trying to rip up, well, everything. It probably doesn't help that there's trains full of, like, you know, 8,000 chips each. And a second train. Oh no, we've got rid of most of this train. That's something. I actually, we might go do it whilst we're here. Technically, this needs to be nuked. Because it's just going to be quicker to nuke it than it is to back it up. You know, 10k per box, and there's 48 boxes. So what's that? 480,000 green circuits. And I already have 48,000. That's 480,000. Yeah, that's enough green circuits to do us for a while. Okay, so today's plan, like I said, go off and explore. So we're going to jump in a train. I'm leaving this. For our last blueprint because we're going to have a whole bunch of trees we're going to burn down. Take care of. Recycle into power. That's what we're going to do. We're going to recycle them into power. And our plan is to... Oh, that's why that's flashing. Plan is to come out here somewhere and search down here somewhere for the next blueprint. We're going to copy probably this one and paste it down. May that do that off camera, on camera, either or, don't know. Oh, I also need to mention this is going to be the last episode for the week. Mainly because I know what I'm about to do and I know it's going to take like 5 hours. Well, 5 hours if I help put down 10 bazillion concrete by hand, which I'm not looking forward to doing. So I'm just going to let the computer run and let the bots do it. And if they take 20 hours, they take 20 hours. I can just let it run in the background, which I often do. And yeah. So yeah, plan is to come down here, put down a blueprint. We're going to rotate it 180 degrees and have it parked in here. And I'm hoping that I can use just these train stations. I actually think if I technically disconnected the main line right here, we could just use these train stations. But Train Supply Manager does have some way of doing source priorities. I don't know how. I haven't actually looked into how it works yet, but I know it exists. So the plan is to have Train Supply Manager Have this one down here preference these iron and copper. This one over here preference sort of these iron and copper. And probably this set as well. Where do you link into? You link it over here. Probably leave this up to free-for-all. And have this one here. Oh, I got this one as well. Okay, this one preference this slot. This one preference this slot. And this one preference this slot. That's the plan. Just to try and ease the congestion. Because it's not bad, but... Well, okay, it's bad. It's not deadlocked recently, but it's bad. Okay, I want a crap ton of them. I want some of them. You know what? I just want the whole train weighing with. And actually, can I put you lot in the trash slots? No, I don't have enough trash space. Because really, I want the robots to just rip up the trees and just put down the power poles and the signals, and then we'll do a second pass putting down the railway tracks. But that didn't happen, so we're just gonna build in a straight line, have the bots blueprint what they can. Any biters you see on the radar are ghosts and phantoms. They don't actually exist because we removed them a long time ago with console command. Speaking of console commands, I haven't done anything about pollution yet because I want to see what color red we could get. And the answer is red. Actually, pollution stats. Pollution. So we're moving 30,000 pollution per minute by 2,500 tiles. There are some trees on the map, somewhere, I don't know where, and they're still removing 26k. And then we have 1,200 dead trees removing 15k pollution. But we're making, hang on, that's 30, 56, we'll call that 80. And we're making, well, that and that is 50, plus that is 110, plus that's 133, 140,000 pollution per minute, and we're removing not much at all. AKA the pollution cloud is expanding constantly. And I need to also work out exactly how far I need to take this train track. Helps if I turn that off. So we're going to use the brilliant method of measuring with your finger on the screen. And I need to come out to about here somewhere. So lots further. I think about here somewhere. Again, brilliant measuring. No, go zoom out one more. My hand's not that big. Yeah, that should be plenty. Okay, so that's roughly where we're going to have our train tracks end. Now I just need to pick up all the bots and have them build all the pieces they've missed. Oh, actually, there's a way to test these tracks to know if they're complete. It's a dangerous test, but it works every time. Okay, so we're going to put a loop on the end, like so, and then we're going to run down the track. And because I'm on the track, that means there's no trees. At the same time, there's a train that I left at the other end that's waiting to turn around and go back to the station. And it cannot do that until both tracks are complete. At which point we've completed the circuit, it can then path, and then it's going to come charging up the north track to go to the end to turn around to then come charging back down the south track. So I've got to keep running this way until I see a train go along the north track. At which point it means the train track is complete. We have a complete loop. We're good to go. Straight away when you see bits of track missing, you know it's not complete yet. We're not going to do that little bit. Bot said no. Oh, we ran out of train track. That'll do it. How much more am I missing? Did I miss something? No? Okay. Hey! Train. Okay. So that means the track's complete. Alright. Next thing I need to do is... Technically I need to blueprint the whole thing. Alright. So, back to editor mode. And the reason I'm doing this in editor mode is, well, it just removes the constraints that normally are imposed by the game. So, no, I don't need to. I need to blueprint from about here. So I can actually blueprint this whole build from like God view without needing radar coverage. I've got mostly radar coverage, but I don't have guaranteed 100% coverage. So I want all that build. I want to give you a lab icon. I want tiles. And we're good to go. Okay. Then. Nope. Okay, so because I'm in God mode again, I can see some really big things. But unfortunately, I still can't see the whole blueprint on the screen at the same time. So first things first is we need to find some oil. We need to find some oil that is going to be... Well, it's going to be in this corner, which when rotated twice means it's going to be down around here somewhere. So I need to find some oil down around here somewhere over the rainbow. Oil, like every single iron, copper patch, coal patch, uranium patch, stone patch you can think of. Oil is here. Okay, where does that put us? That should hopefully be enough room. So, back out of editor mode, we're going to come up here and I'm going to get this copy first. We want it to face that way. There's some really dense oil. Because I need to line up as many of these pump jacks as possible with actual oil spots. So I'm thinking about here somewhere. Obviously, because I've got carrying something has trains, I can't move things up and down by one tile. Everything has to move by 2 tile increments. But that guy lines up, that guy lines up, this guy should be able to line up, and that guy should be able to line up. So I can do some tweaking to get 4 pump checks lined up and ready to go. But if that's our first blueprint, we then want to go to editor mode. I need to do this in editor mode. I don't need to, but it's so much easier. So we want to slice from there to there to there. Hold down shift so I can get tiles. And overlap our oil. Let's go think about it. Oh, my bad. I got instant blueprint on. Okay, so I don't know how much space I've just lost, but or how much time I've just lost, but I'm basically going to get back up to where we were physically put down the blueprint without that instant blueprint building turned on, and then hook up the trains into our unload stations and set them up to start running and let this blueprint build. But this is going to be the final episode for this week. Next week, we're going to be in probably the final week of this particular series. I've said multiple times I want to keep it under 100 episodes, and we're getting really, really close. So yeah, this will be the final one for this week. We'll have it at least next week, maybe another week on top. And we're going to go up to 15 rockets per minute. I want to do 15 rockets per minute. I want to maintain 60 UPS. We're going to try our hardest. I'm probably going to have to overclock the computer a little bit, but we will see. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. And I will see you guys in the next episode on Monday. All right. Bye.